What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another fitness video on the YouTube channel. You may be asking why I'm shirtless. It's truly because I just filmed another YouTube channel video. I'm releasing them, days or weeks apart, and I didn't feel like putting a shirt on between the videos, so I just stayed shirtless. Anyway, that's, behind the scenes, BTS. I wanted to talk today about how do you know how much you're supposed to lift in a session? Like, I don't mean the amount of weight per se, but how many repetitions do you do? Maybe I do mean the weight. I just mean like how much effort should someone put in every gym session? Great question, Brennan. I'm glad you asked it. Let me answer it for you guys, and hopefully some of you had that question too, and you hoped I'd make a video on this. So me and Spider Chair have been talking, and we've really discussed the idea that it comes down to your goals. Again, I always go back to you can't score without goals. What are you trying to accomplish? So assuming you're trying to get stronger, whatever that means to you for a specific activity, or if you just want to build muscle for aesthetics, or it's a combination, or you want muscle so you can get through your activities of daily living with less pain, or because you've heard more muscle mass and getting cardio in is good for your health, which it is, and you want to age gracefully and be able to do fun things when you're older and not necessarily need a lot of support, and you can live more on your own. So basically, when you're in the gym, I like to do, when I'm lifting weights, something that I've kind of coined the term one in the chamber. I mean, I didn't coin that term for what it's applied to normally, but I feel like I made it up for working out. Whatever. If someone else is like, no, I made it up. Okay, then you did. I'm sorry. So let's say my handy dandy 15-pound dumbbell here. I can lift it, I don't know, let's say 10 times. 10 is I literally, once I get to 10, I cannot do 11. Like, it's my max. Muscle failure hits at 10, right? So let's say I'm doing 3 sets of 10 repetitions. Now, do I have to do every single workout, every single time I hit the gym, 3 sets of 10 repetitions? Not necessarily. I like to do what's known as one in the chamber, like I mentioned. So let's say 10 is my none in the chamber. I've used all I have. All the ammo I have is gone. But keeping one in the chamber, I'll stop at 9, typically. I will stop, especially if I'm doing an exercise like bench pressing and I don't have a spotter. I always like to stop one shy of what I could probably do, because A, it's dangerous if I don't have a spotter depending on the exercise, and B, that very, very last rep tends to be when my form breaks. So let's say, this is number 9, and number 10 I can only hit if I arch and do all these weird movements. I'm not even really using the bicep to move the weight up there. It's more of a cheat repetition. And if I can't do it clean, can I actually lift the weight? You know what I mean? So yes, there are times where you purposely will do as many as you can clean, and then you purposely will cheat, because then you can still work the negative, because we're stronger on the negative or down phase than we are on the up phase or concentric in any exercise. That's why people can jump and do a pull-up going down versus being able to go up in the very beginning when they're training, because we're stronger on that down phase when your muscles are lengthening. There's science reasons for that, but anyway, it's true. So we're not assuming you're doing the junk reps on purpose, but if you're just cheating because you're tired, it's probably time to put the weight down and take a rest between your next set. So yeah, like I do typically, if I'm training on a lighter day, I'll do 3 sets, maybe 4 sets for a muscle group. It doesn't have to be the same exercise that whole time. So if I'm doing 3 sets, maybe I do 2 of them as a bench press, and then the last one is push-ups. But regardless, I still go towards muscle failure or task failure when I'm lifting. And maybe one day that means 10 repetitions. Maybe one day that means 8 repetitions, or only 6, depending on how tired I am from other factors in my life. You can't remove everything else in life and act like the gym is where everything is always the same. It's not just a mathematical formula. We're not robots. You got to put in the human element into training, because we're humans that are training. So sometimes your mindset changes how much you can lift that day. Sometimes the amount of sleep, the amount of food you've had, how hydrated you are. If you are in a bad emotional headspace because you got in a fight with a family member or a friend, that all will influence how much you can lift. Now, I personally recommend still getting in your gym session, because typically you'll feel better, releases endorphins, gives you a moment to kind of put things into perspective, and then hopefully make amends if you were the one who caused the fight, or even if you didn't, realize it's still not worth losing a friend or family member over. So, make amends anyway. But yes, one in the chamber. So on my heavier lifting days, I tend to do at least 5 sets per muscle group. Sometimes I'll do 5 sets of bench if it's chest day, and then 5 sets of cable flies, which is more chest, and then maybe I'll do like a burnout of as many push-ups as I can do. But again, shy of 1 in the chamber. So once my form breaks, then I know I'm done, or if it's about to break. I don't think you're getting anywhere. They're becoming more junk repetitions if you're not going through that full range of motion. So if you can accomplish that movement, let's say with this, I can do 20 repetitions. That's probably too light unless you're training muscular endurance specifically. Typically, they say between 6 and 12 reps with a weight is a good starting point. Again, you can program more depending on how advanced you are and the more you know and want to accomplish. But if you can do at least 6 repetitions, it's probably a good weight. If you can do more than 12, it's probably a little on the light side for how strong you currently are. Again, assuming you have good form. If you can't lift it at least 6 times, it might be a little too heavy. And then again, if you can do more than 12 with it pretty easily, like you got to 12, but you're not actually tired, it's probably too light. So you still want to go towards muscle failure or task failure. You can get strong even if you do 50 repetitions with something, but then you're going to have to go towards 50 repetitions every single set because it's too light, and that's just wasting time now. So you might as well save yourself time by just picking up a heavier weight and doing it less times versus doing it 50 with a light weight. So I aim typically between 6 and 12 repetitions for my exercises. Sometimes I'll do 5 sets of 5, but it's a weight that I could do 6 times, especially on the first set. As I get tired, if I don't take enough rest between sets, then I may start lifting less and less. But that's another thing, making sure you rest enough between your sets so you're recovered to continue the amount that you did on that first set or close to it. So hopefully that makes sense. 6 to 12 reps is a great place to start, but again, keep 1 in the chamber if you're doing something without a spotter. I always recommend having a spotter, but sometimes most of the time I work out by myself, and I don't always have a spotter for bench press or whatever. So again, I make sure I always have enough energy to put the bar back on the rack so I don't drop it on myself. And even if it's something like a bicep curl where you could just put it on the floor, it's still better form and you're less likely to get injured if you're doing them properly with clean form. And then when you can't get that last one, instead of like cheating and throwing out your back, just admit, oh, it's okay, I'll rest and I'll just do another set after I take a few minutes off. So hopefully that helped you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know other videos on health and wellness fitness you would like to see. Until next time, may the power protect you.